After weeks of conflict, Israel has officially agreed to a ceasefire in Gaza. The ceasefire is scheduled to begin on Sunday. It marks a potential turning point in the recent escalation of violence. The international community hopes the ceasefire will hold. The Israeli cabinet is expected to convene today. They will formally approve the ceasefire agreement. The details of the agreement are not yet fully known. However, it is expected to include a cessation of hostilities by both sides. This development comes after mounting international pressure on Israel. The United Nations and several world leaders have called for an immediate ceasefire. They cite the growing number of civilian casualties in Gaza. The ceasefire offers a glimmer of hope for the people caught in the crossfire. The situation in Gaza remains dire. The recent conflict has resulted in widespread destruction and loss of life. The ceasefire is a crucial first step towards alleviating the humanitarian crisis. It is too early to say how long the ceasefire will last. The decision to agree to a ceasefire was made by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This decision comes after weeks of intense pressure. Both domestic and international actors have urged a peaceful resolution. Netanyahu has faced criticism for his handling of the conflict. His political rivals accuse him of prioritizing military solutions over diplomacy. The ceasefire agreement is likely to have significant implications for his political future. Netanyahu's decision to agree to a ceasefire is a gamble. It remains to be seen whether it will be seen as a sign of strength or weakness. His supporters argue that he has secured Israel's security. They point to the elimination of key Hamas figures and infrastructure. Opponents of the ceasefire argue that it is a concession to terrorism. They believe that Netanyahu has missed an opportunity to deliver a decisive blow to Hamas. The ceasefire will undoubtedly be a defining moment in his premiership. Despite the announcement of a ceasefire, violence continues to plague the region. This raises serious doubts about the long-term viability of the agreement. There have been reports of rocket fire from Gaza and Israeli airstrikes. The most concerning aspect is the rising death toll. Even after the ceasefire announcement, Israeli attacks on Gaza have continued. This has resulted in the deaths of at least 101 Palestinians. The international community condemns these attacks. Among the casualties are 27 children and 31 women. This highlights the devastating impact of the conflict on innocent civilians. International organizations are struggling to provide aid to those affected by the violence. The situation is dire. The continued violence underscores the fragility of the ceasefire. It remains to be seen whether both sides will fully adhere to the terms of the agreement. The coming days will be crucial in determining the success or failure of the ceasefire. The ceasefire agreement, if it holds, has the potential to significantly impact both Israel and Gaza. For Israel, it offers a reprieve from international pressure. It allows the government to focus on rebuilding damaged infrastructure. The ceasefire also gives Israel an opportunity to repair its strained relationships with international partners. Several countries criticized Israel's handling of the conflict. The ceasefire could pave the way for renewed diplomatic efforts. For Gaza, the ceasefire offers a much-needed respite from violence. It allows humanitarian aid to reach the beleaguered population. The people of Gaza desperately need food, water, and medical supplies. However, the ceasefire does not address the underlying issues fueling the conflict. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza persists. The blockade imposed by Israel continues to cripple the economy. The long-term stability of the region remains uncertain.